Hi everybody, and welcome to my first ever toy review. Um, I gotta tell you, I can't believe that I actually found this at retail. And when I saw it, I'm like, I gotta share this with the world. So, I've been thinking about doing some toy reviews for a while, but I've been constantly chickening out. I'm saying, what's the point when you guys got guys like Pixel Dan and Robo and Shartimus Prime and Laura Legends. What's the point of competing with them? And honestly, it just seems like fun. So I'm gonna give it a whirl. Gonna give it a shot, and I'll keep doing it as well as long as it still keeps being fun. But this one here, Masters of the Universe, Rise of Evil, Master of the Universe. The line's been out for this retro line. The Origins line has been out for about a year now. It's been a little frustrating at times being able to get everything. It's a good thing I'm not a completist. But this pack, I honestly did not think I would get my hands on it. And first, let's just take a moment to admire it. These are the two figures that come inside. Of course, over here we have the original alter ego of Skeletor, which is Keldor. I remember growing up and watching the cartoon as a kid, and there really wasn't anything about Keldor in it that I remember. I do remember in I think it was 2003, 2002 that He-Man got a reboot, and Keldor was definitely a part of that lore, and now he's part of the Origins lore. So here he is as Evil Apprentice of Hordak. I'm loving the extra detail painting on it. The gem, the green mark on the shielding. I'm really digging that. I'm digging the staff. That's that kind of a clear plastic green. But what's got me the most is his head. I couldn't tell from the pictures before. I don't know if you can really admire it too much, but those eyes. Look at those eyes. It's like he's staring into your soul. Like you can almost hear him say, "I'm gonna get ya, He-Man." And right next to him, we got Cronus. I'll be honest, not too familiar with the lore of Cronus. I know he becomes Trapjaw, you know. He's Cronus, and then stuff happens, gets his jaw blown off, his arm blown off, and he becomes Trapjaw. Kind of really gruesome for a kid's backstory, but if you could get away from it in the 80s, you could, as long as you had like a cute little moral at the end, thanks to the Ronald Reagan era. And my God, the artwork on this thing is just beautiful. You for 21, you can admire. I'm not sure if that's supposed to be Hordak or Horde Prime. Horde Prime appeared a lot in the She-Ra cartoon, but I want to say I remember Horde Prime being more like a robot, like a giant gas robot, something. It's been a while since I've seen him. I'll have to rewatch some She-Ra on YouTube. Masters of Universe, Rise of Evil, Dark Origins of Two of Eternia's Evil Warriors. Modern Posing Retro Play. Well, for Retro Play, for those who are not too familiar with these ones, I'm sure most of you are, they have a lot more articulation than the original figures. You can put them in a lot more poses. They do not have the punching action that the original ones did. And I know some of you might be getting bored seeing the same shot, so let me turn it to the side so you can admire some more art. You got Evil Lyn, Merman, and Triclops, and Beastman. I mean, the art is just outstanding. It's like, typically I'm the kind of guy that throws away packaging, but it's hard to do it. It's hard to throw it away when it looks this good. Let's go look at the other side now. Rise of Evil. There's a cool looking little, what is that? Like some sort of amphibian creature on a ledge. Then you got the back. Let's see. Before Skeletor and Trapjaw, Kildor and Cronus terrorized Eternia in their quest for total domination. I mean, and like, is this a little slightly raised? No, I've noticed that in some of the art packaging, the characters on the yeah, actually these ones are too. These characters, if you feel your finger across them, it feels rough, and then it's smooth. Like the main characters are slightly raised over the background. You don't feel it here on Beastman. You feel it on Kildor. You feel it on Cronus, and then you lose it over here. But these guys are like extra shiny, extra smooth compared to the rest of it, and that's really a great detail. Make it even harder to throw away this box. This one, I'm gonna have to find some sort of way to keep it, because I'm not really a mint on card, mint on box guy. I like the figures out and displayed. Here we got Randor, Man-at-Arms, Stratus in his other form. We have the gray, furry gray. I don't, do we call it fur? Is it feather? I mean, I always thought Stratus looked a little more like a monkey than a bird man, but you know, the wings and the contraptions what makes him fly. There we have a more amphibious looking merman, and we have Triclops in that alternate outfit. They do like, the people over at Mattel do like to say that the art that you see on these can sometimes be clues as to what's to come. And we already know we have a more, what was the term? It's not Masters of the Universe, but what they were going to be called before. Oh, I can't think of it right now. I'm sure in post-editing I'll write down, I'll throw up a little text of what it was that I was looking for that I just couldn't reach in my mind. But it is one of the origin, Lords of Power. I think Lords of Power was it. Or Masters, no, I think it was Power Lord, like Masters, no, Lords of Powers version of Beastman. And I think that's the different colored Evil Lyn. So these are all alternate versions that are coming out, I feel. In the back, this is one thing I miss about action figures from the 80s and 90s. A lot of lines nowadays don't have what other figures to look out for on the back. And I remember that was such a big selling point for me as a kid. Sometimes I'd cut out the boxes and take them with me. You know, I'd go toy hunting. I'm like, I got this one and scratch that one off, looking for the other one. It's kind of has that gotta catch them all Pokemon kind of feel to it. Underneath there, we got Battle Armor Skeletor, Panther. I already have Panther. There's supposed to be a flocked version coming out in Walmart, which people are looking for. I'm not gonna particularly go out of my way for that one. I'm kind of happy with the regular Panther. I don't really need a flock version of it, despite the original one being flocked. Plus, I think the knees and places that aren't going to get flocked is going to be a little jarring. Clamchamp. I haven't been able to get my hands on Clamchamp or Ram Man. I had Clamchamp as a kid. I didn't know what his name was because he was a hand-me-down. And I don't remember seeing Clamchamp in the cartoon. I moved around a lot as a kid, so sometimes I would go to a place where they played He-Man, sometimes they didn't. So I didn't catch the entire series, but whenever I could, I would. And whenever there were some VHS tapes to rent a He-Man, you can bet that I would rent them and watch them over and over again. So I'm more familiar with some episodes than others. New 421 Battle Armor He-Man. And here's basically giving instructions on how to do a head swap with them. Twist into powerful battle positions. All right. Let's see what the blurb is here. Modernizing and celebrating the original 80s Masters of the Universe action figures, Master of the Universe Origins gives you the power to pose Eternia's greatest warriors as retro-styled figures or in new action-packed battle positions. So basically, they're just really playing up the posability. I'm surprised they're not really selling, how how customizable these are. Before I pop them out of the plastic completely, just one final shot of them outside. These guys slide right out, but the box does end up being intact. All right, and these are the figures completely out of the packaging now. Let's take a look over here at Kronos. Well, not Kronos, Cronus. Cronus here, pre-trap jaw. Checking out his gear. His furry tights there, unpainted, just a solid red. Looking down here, like the green detail there on his thighs, I guess, and down here, solid black boots. Some gray, what are we gonna call those, gauntlets? And that helmet in that. Let's take a look at that face there. Get closer in and admire that that sculpt right there. The dark blue that they put on him almost makes him look like a really angry Smurf, to be honest. But he's such a badass Smurf at that. Let's see. Take a look at him behind. And what's cool is that he's already got the spots on his back for his future attachments. It's kind of like he already knows he's gonna lose his arm and put different attachments on there. Let's see. I don't remember if that's actually on the Trapjaw figure. I'm gonna have to pull out the Trapjaw figure and compare. Here we got Kildor. I'm gonna move Cronus out of the way. Here we got Kildor. Sorry for that. I'm doing everything by hand. I'm actually just doing it with my phone. This review. No stabilizer, no nothing. Just trying to keep a steady hand. And here we got Kildor. Just admiring him. Like I noticed earlier, I really like the paint app there, the green bat, the gemstone. The cape is a separate piece. It's a, oh, there goes the accessory. Completely separate piece. Gonna see if I can, it just goes around the neck. Then you have the regular armor that comes with Skeletor. Just has that nice paint app. What's nice is that you get a solid power sword. Whoops. Well, here's you can admire it a little bit better. Completely solid. Purple with that glowing green tip. Not much for paint apps. Sorry, my dogs like to bark at everything that's alive outside. I got two fluffy dogs and they can be noisy at times. Let's see. I apologize for that. And let's see if I can get this guy in focus. So you could really admire the staff. The detailing on the staff. And this kind of... Obviously, it's like a ram's horn. I don't know if it's... I think it's supposed to be like a ram's skull. But the mouth and whatnot, maybe it's just me or the coloring, but it almost looks reptilian in form. Not trying to start any David Icke-like conspiracies there. Just making a little notice of the design. If it wasn't for the horns, it almost looked like it was a lizard face. But it could just be the green that's causing that effect. But very cool. And this head's... I mean, the glowing eyes is what gets me. So... And here he is now with the alternate Skeletor head sculpt, and I'm just digging those eyes, man. I think this is my definitive Skeletor head sculpt. I'm gonna be honest, I wasn't too crazy with the new head sculpt for either Skeletor or He-Man. I'm glad that the deluxe versions were coming out with the regular, well, not regular, I should say, the vintage heads. And from what I understand, that there's going to be a running change coming in the fall, where they're going to keep re-releasing Skeletors and He-Man, as Mattel apparently loves to do. And but those are going to have the alternate heads that before you can only get as an extra was the deluxe versions of the battle armor He-Man and Skeletor. But I'm very happy they threw this one in here. All right, so here I am with all 4 figures plus Panther over there, regular Panther, which quite honestly good enough for me. I'm gonna pass on the flock. Well, I say that now, but maybe when I see him I still get him. All right, but anyways, a lot of big differences. I didn't notice some of the differences right away, right off the bat, but looking at them now, one of the things I did not notice are the feet. Skeletor comes with, whatever reason, like these kind of almost web, I don't want to say duck feet, because they got talons, but, well, maybe Muscovy ducks. Those ducks that you see in Florida that are actually from Brazil. But yeah, so that's Skeletor's, regular Skeletor's foot. Well, his boot, I should say. But compare it to Keldor. Keldor has a more regal boot, shall we say. More regal design. Let's take a look at that. I think that's the same. Yep, same design. And if we look at the armor, as you can see, it's the same armor. It's just that the plastic's in a darker purple, and it's got the paint apps. I find the paint apps really bring out the action figures design a lot more. I wish they did a little more paint apps on the figures, but they keep telling us it's to keep costs low. Just everything seems to be a lot more expensive nowadays. Let's take, I'm gonna move Skeletor for a little bit so we can get a better shot at Trapjaw. Lots of differences here. At first I thought it was just gonna be like the shoulder attachment that he has, because with him it's not an actual attachment, it's an armor that you can pop on and off. And what's interesting, well, I made note that on the back of this guy here, you actually have places for the attachments for Trapjaw's weapons, and I put one of them in there so you could see that. Whereas on Trapjaw himself, he doesn't have that on a, oh, he took a dive there. Trapjaw does not have that backpack. What he has are some spots on his belt where you can clip them on. But I find this works a lot better. I really like that vest compared. The also, obviously the head is going to be a big difference, you know, because he still got an angry Smurf face here, and then you got a more, I guess Trapjaw would be a lich, just like Skeletor is a lich. I never really thought of it that way, but I guess he did. Trapjaw, I mean, a lot of his parts have been replaced. It's always been part of his thing, but I never really thought of him as a walking corpse until we start comparing these two. As you can see, the shoulder's got the rivets. It's got a brace to help with all the broken parts, whereas the Cronus version
It's just regular, those are basically just He-Man arms. Cast in blue with gray gauntlets. Helmet, it's the same design. Trying to figure out if the, no, at first I thought it was maybe a slightly darker red on Cronus than on Trapjaw. I think it's the face app that kind of made it look a little different, but comparing side to side, actually, it's a little hard to tell. Of course, the arm attachment here, it's going to be very different from that. Same legs. Looks like they got the same legs. Same furry pants. The difference is that Trapjaw has that belt that kind of breaks a solid red color, whereas Cronus doesn't have that belt that goes on top of his furry underwear. And the molded belt isn't painted either, so it's just solid red. There's nothing there to break that that mold up. Got Skeletor's head rolling around. And I was mentioning before, the other big difference is Skeletor's sword. With regular Skeletor, you get a half sword, because originally the idea was that Skeletor had half a sword, He-Man had half a sword, put them together, and that's the key to Castle Grayskull, where you can have all the power of the universe and become the true master of the universe, was the original concept. That kind of got a little bit tossed out the window as far as the two power swords. We know Skeletor to be more iconic was his staff. And looking at the staff, you know what? It does look somewhat reptilian even without the green. Now that I can't unsee the reptilian, even though I know it's supposed to be like a goat skull. But he kind of looks like a dinosaur face now that I look at him in this up close. At least that's what he's looking like to me now. Well, that's the original face. And this is the one that comes in the box set. And it's like a separate, like, little clear plastic inside as the eyes. They almost make you think they look like gemstones. I really love this head sculpt over this one. So I'm gonna keep Keldor's head on Keldor, and I'm probably gonna swap this out. Actually, let me stop the video for a second and do that. And here he is. Skeletor was the box set head. Yeah, that's a big improvement on Skeletor right there. I think this is my now definitive Skeletor. Those eyes, man. Those eyes really do it for me. So to me, it's like looking at a piece of art. You know, sometimes you have that piece of art hanging on a wall, and it just kind of gives you that cool feeling. It does something for you, and to me, these guys are little works of art, and they kind of bring that out in me. So I love having these on display. I really have a shortage of space now for these guys. Unfortunately, I don't have a good setup for them just yet, but I'm working towards fixing that down the road. Once I actually do it, I wouldn't mind showing off what I got. I'm actually thinking of doing a review of not so much of individual figures, but the line as a whole, and comparing it to some of the other 5.5 scale stuff that's been out, and see what other lines might be somewhat quasi-compatible with them, because I'm a big freak about when it comes to like scale and stuff like that. It's one of my pet peeves when stuff isn't really to scale. So yeah, but this is just great. I just can't stop recording and looking at this. I'm just admiring this so much. Hopefully you enjoy looking at these guys as much as I do. Hopefully you'll also be lucky enough to find these out in the wild. I do not encourage paying scalper prices. There was they were saying that they're gonna keep pumping these out. They're just not gonna be a lot of them out at once, but there should be a slow trickle. So be patient, be strong. I did not think I was gonna come home with these today. I did not think these were gonna be a thing today. Just one of those things where you're walking down the aisle, you see a whole bunch of He-Mans and Skeletors, and you're like, yeah, what else is new? And then you actually see something that's new, and you're like, oh my god. And yeah, very cool set. Loving Keldor. Loving my badass Smurf, Cronus. And a lot of differences between, especially with him and upper body wise with him and Trapjaw. Hope you enjoy the review. Let me know if you love it, if you hate it. Well, it's the internet. I'm sure there's lots of people that are going to hate it no matter what. But still hit me with your likes, even your dislikes. I'll take it all. I'll take it all as positive criticism, even if it's mean spirited. I'll take it as positive criticism. And I just can't stop looking at this. I love the shot. I love this new head sculpt. All right, guys. That's been it for me for today. I hope you enjoyed it. And I guess happy collecting. Peace out.